When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of the second season of the NASCAR Class C Maconi Setup Shop Big Series. This evening, we're excited to be bringing you top foot action for the weekly Strength of Field race from iRacing's virtual Iowa Speedway in the state of Iowa. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing. Go to the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Justin Prince. Alongside me the move tonight is Alexander Balderas with Bradley Cooper producing as we use cameras provided by the great Dougie Beard. Alex, when it comes to Iowa, it's always been considered a tight but very fun racetrack. Lots of rewards if you are able to tire safe. Lots of rewards if you can run multiple different lines. What should we expect to see tonight for the S.O.F race?
Well, tonight here from Iowa, in Newton, Iowa, a 75 mile track, just under a mile, closer to Darlington, but not nearly the same shape. Classic, sort of short track-ish scene. Tonight, we're going to see a couple different lanes being run, but a major payoff in tire saving. Track was opened in 2006 with no major changes since then. A D-shaped oval with 14 degrees of banking in turn 1, 12 in turn 2, and 10 degrees of banking on the front and 4 on the backstretch.
In turn, these drivers get themselves situated and ready to go. We'll look at the points in just a moment as we get ready for tonight's 60-lapper. Let's see how we'll start here tonight from Iowa. Up at the pole tonight, Ryan Andrews setting the fastest time of qualifying, beating eNASCAR driver Malik Ray in qualifying by 7 one-thousandths of a second. Curtis Sutton starts in third alongside River Page. Amongst the top 3 rows in turn, Dylan Rowe and Christian Sanford start inside the top 6 today.
Moving on to the rest of the field, Joshua Dickens and Dean Brummett, your points leader. Then Jacob Schneider, Tyler Merritt, Joey Maschwitz, and Vincent Cortez in 12th.
Back in 13th position today is Brady Powers with Tristan Bruce back in 14th. Dylan Robinson and Cole Potkin. Potkin's been quick in the past. Remember, he was booted out of the way in Texas. Derek Winter starts 17th position. Jeffrey Maconi, the last driver to set a time. And your last drivers in the starting grid tonight, on the charts for the back, Jake Matheson now with Tranquility Racing. Justin Patello. We also have Logan McAnally, along with Scott Ricard and Brandon Traverco. Starts at the tail of the field here tonight from Iowa. Now talking about the point standings a little bit entering tonight, Dean Brummett, the points leader, by about 9 points. And several of the drivers contending for the championship once more in this field. Jacob Snyder to keep an eye on. Joey Masevich, Justin Patello, Cole Potkin, and several others as we get all set to go. In turn though, Alex, what are your keys to try and get a solid points night? If not, get the win, of course, here tonight.
Well, obviously, you want to make sure you save your tires as best as possible. Being a shorter track, that tire life is going to matter a whole lot. Keeping your truck clean also at a short track is a major advantage. So these guys know what they have to do if they want to get a good points night here tonight.
And with Malik Ray in the field, usually that means things can get very interesting. Who's your pick to try and win tonight?
Ryan Andrews has always been fast. Every time he's come out, he's been fast. He was fast during the Fast Fridays this Friday. And starting on pole, beating out Malik. Anyway, he was fast, and we could see him go to victory lane. But a lot of these guys are running good. I say, out of all of these, Deeg is going to come out on top.
A few moments away from tonight's action. Again, Ryan Andrews, one of the series regulars, Malik Ray in the Coke Series, coming off his best career Coke Series campaign. Curtis Sutton, a Truck Series team owner, in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series amongst your top 3 positions. And don't forget the youngster of River Page in a different look tonight. Could be an interesting start to tonight. 60 laps at this .88 mile facility, all set to go here on Maconi Entertainment tonight. Brought to you in part by Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment, the home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and more. All being said, we're underway from Iowa. For the race lead, Malik Ray to the bottom of the racetrack. Ryan Andrew already moving up towards the wall, but it's Andrew who leads the first lap here around from Iowa.
Andrew already starting to experiment with those different lanes already. I'm getting a little nervous though because he seems to be pushing hard in Iowa. Not that bumpy of a track, but those bumps will definitely skew you around. And tire saving going to be a big talking point here tonight, as Iowa is not like most other tracks on the eNASCAR circuit. This is a tough, challenging track to tame, as we've already seen people getting loose. That's what I'm talking about. These guys have a lot on their plate tonight.
Our Merritt in one of the Maconi Setup Shop paint schemes, trying to work the top 3 wide. Near contact with Dean Brummett. Dylan Rowe gets nearly turned around. Joshua Dickens avoids. Jacob Snyder as well. We stay green despite all the damage for Dylan Rowe.
Yeah, and these guys, not a very wide track at all. It looks wide, but then you're going to run 3 wide, and you realize you're going to run out of room quick when you're trying to enter the corner. And we're already seeing that riding on board with Joey. They're almost 4 wide coming off of turn 2.
Kristen Bruce having to move away. Rowe nearly making contact with Cole Ponkin. Still 3 wide as Brandon Sparkle amongst those trying to slice and dice through the field. On board, contact! It's Dylan Rowe again. Caution flag is out. Masevich tries to save it, and does, but it's Rowe who bounces off several other trucks to bring up the first caution already.
So for the driver, the number 23, not a great start. Yeah, saw him getting a little bit of contact, just sends it up the corner, and I mean, great for him to save it at the end, but I mean, already a few incidents involved here tonight. That's a for sure 2X and maybe another 4X, so already in just the first 6 laps. He's got 10 times more laps to do here tonight, and not looking good off the start.
And obviously, Rowe with plenty of damage already. He had the lowest I rating in the field coming into tonight's race. However, this is the S.O.F, so a 41-22 gets you in top split to start off this week. So in turn, keep in mind, drivers only have 2 sets of tires available in the pit lane today. So likely not to see pit stops this early on. Amongst those already slicing through the field that we may see come on in, Brandon Jaburko had some contact to the right side of his truck. Looks like he'll try and hold out here, maybe minimal damage if he feels that way. But also up 5 spots, Jake Matheson, a driver with the NASCAR experience over the years. Also up 5 spots through the field, Cole Ponkin and Tyler Merritt. Merritt, going to be interesting to keep an eye on, some fans watching along to see how that driver fares out tonight. What are your thoughts, Alex, as we start things off in the early going here? Still plenty of time to go on the track, but still a pretty stacked field in turn. Who do you feel, outside of who you've seen, of course, in the front runners, we should be keeping an eye on with how things have fared out early going?
Well, it's interesting to me how the front runners immediately knew that just off of the first couple of laps, they're going to want to get back in line, and they're going to want to kind of ride it out. Those guys in the back did not get the message at all. 2, 3, on almost 4 wide in the back. These guys wanting to make up those spots, because clearly track position is going to mean a lot. One thing we don't really talk about is maybe the effect that dirty air will have here tonight. Usually it's not that big of a bother during short track races, but this is not your average short track. About almost a mile in length, just under. So it's not really a short track per se. One of the shorter ones on the schedule, but add that, dirty air can still affect your racetrack.
Keep in mind, already drivers talking about some of the contact in the mid-pack. Matheson trying to assist Jaburko actually with the damage in terms of some of that contact, also Ponkin nearby. But outside of that, this is one of the longer tracks for caution periods. It's worth noting. Outside of that mark, though, expect to be a busy time when it comes to NASCAR, of course. They get ready for their middle to cutoff portions of the playoffs with the Roval coming up. But also plenty of talking points with Iowa already confirmed earlier today that NASCAR looking to bring the Cup Series to this venue for the first time next year after being a rumored track for such a long time from 2006 onward.
Honestly, I think it'll be a great addition to the schedule. We had talks with bringing the Cup cars back to Montreal earlier this year, and from what I heard, that Iowa right now could be just a placeholder as talks with Montreal are still going on. So don't get so locked in just yet. From rumors I'm hearing, that could not just be the case.
Still plenty to happen, though. The official schedule still waiting for full formation. Speaking of formation, we're under formation of the pace lap. It's Andrew and Ray, Page and Sanford, Merritt and Sutton, Brummett and Dickens, Snyder and Cortez amongst the top 10. And already Malik Ray trying to become very acquainted with the side of Ryan Andrews' truck. Looking to get as tight as possible as they head up to the restart zone. First restart of the race. We start things back up with about 61, make it 51 laps to go. Back on our way, inside line, times it up most. Ryan Andrew already clear. Clean start already 2 and 3 wide amongst the pack. Dickens amongst those trying to take a peek. It's Vincent Cortez, though, who pokes along the outside.
Yeah, like I said, these guys in the back wasting no time at all to try and make up as many spots as they possibly can off restarts, going 2 and 3 wide. See the multiple lanes being used here at Iowa can be used, and we will see it be used for the rest of the race, but you gotta wonder, when is the time to start saving tires? They're already done 11 laps with about 4 or 5 under caution, so they've got a bit of a break under them, but they've still got a long ways to go before the end of this race.
Old Merritt nearly some contact. Having a lift out of the gas in the heart of that as well. Bruce also up the middle. Snyder trying to work the bottom as well as Brummett. And all these lanes, keep in mind, very critical to be able to be comfortable in all of them. The top line good on the short run. The bottom line great for tire saving, especially around the track. But the caution flag waves again. And once again under yellow. This time, Jeffrey Maconi getting acquainted with Dylan Rowe. And already 2 yellows, and we're not even 15 laps in.
My question is, when does it become an issue here that this 23 truck has caused both of the yellows and been in the most incidents already? And we haven't even driven 13 miles yet at this racetrack.
Letting some discussion on the radio popping up from that one. And it looks fine for now until about there. Actually, just J-Bo got squeezed in the wall first by Rowe.
Yeah, not necessarily his fault, but I mean, I get racing 3 wide for the middle of the pack, but for almost last, I don't get the big picture here.
So in turn, we're back in our caution. Here's a look from J-Bo. You can kind of see that he was expecting the give and take. But outside that, pit stops underway. J-Bo amongst those having to come down. Curtis Sutton, River Page, Dickens, Snyder, Merritt, Misevich, and several more down for their first changes of tire sets here, it looks like. Outside of Logan McAnally, who pit for just fuel only /2 tires last caution. Off and away they go, 4 tires the service. And this already a decent gamble. This is a tire track where a track where you burn a lot of tires.
These drivers having 2 sets in the pits and 1 on their truck when they start, having you could cover about 20 laps each, so they're all taking the opportunity to pit now, which is smart. If you see the leader coming down pit road, you might as well go down as well, because you don't want to be the one guy stuck on old tires who's drifting back through the field, and then that's when the field decides, hey, let's go green to the end here. you would be on the short end of the stick at that point of that strategy call. So good on these guys for realizing that, hey, if the leader's pitting, I got to pit now, and I'll be on the same strategy as the leader. Might have to save a bit more to get to the end, but everyone's equal opportunity right now.
So once again, to resort things amongst the top 5, it's Andrew, Ray, Sanford, Cortez, and Brummett amongst your top 5. Dean Brummett doing what he needs to do to be able to cut his way through as the points leader. Amongst those able to slice through on that last run, though, Vincent Cortez, who's worked with some setup shops as of late. This race going with a very different look. If you look at the 16 truck in Sim, that's 2 trucks ahead of where Chaburko's been able to get to. And sometimes people can say graphic design is their passion. I think Vincent Cortez or whoever made that may say that this time. After all, they want to let Zorse cook, apparently. I don't know who that is, outside of a horse and a dinosaur based on the drawing skills.
I mean, this is certainly one of the paint schemes to hit the track that I've seen. Oh, there he goes. As it comes back, that's one of the paint schemes I've seen hit in the few weeks that we've covered the S.O.F season so far. That might be one of the best to grace a racetrack. But as we get ready to go green, these guys are going to sack it up once again. And hopefully we can go a little bit more than 6 laps before yellow.
Don't jinx it. Coming up to 44 to go already. Andrew and Ray getting ever so closer for the restart zone this time. It's to the point where the 3rd row on back hasn't even gotten caught up yet. Chaburko trying to time something up. Green flag is out. Back underway. And Malik Ray much better on the timing already, jumping ahead on the 2nd row onward. Oh, and there he goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Andrew holding onto his line, though, trying to keep away from the quarter panel.
It's amazing to me how all of these guys are deciding to already start using the top off of the run. Now, usually, if you want to start saving your right front, and basically you just want to start saving your tires, you'd run the bottom, be easy on the gas, not be too aggressive, start scrubbing the fronts, and, try and chill and just relax in the race. These guys, looks like they're going pace, and they're going to go full metal to the pedal to the metal right now. These guys already starting to go 2 and 3 wide in the back still. And right now, 3 wide. And they're not giving it up at all.
Muscles moving ahead. Dickens, he's the first on fresh tires. He's trying to bring Curtis Sutton with them. You see Sutton on the bottom of the racetrack underneath Derek Winter. Muscles also trying to hold on to the old tires is Brady Powers along with Winter. And majority of them choosing the high side again outside of Sutton. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to working with the rear wheel team and, well, being the president of the team, that kind of helps to be able to know where the preferences are from the rear world racetrack compared to the virtual. Same can be said for Matheson, who has that experience in the real world. You see in the battle up in front of him.
Yeah, having that real world experience is going to immensely travel into the sim and vice versa. You know, a lot of these guys are the cream of the crop of iRacing. The strength of field race has the highest I rating for the strength of the field out of any of the races condemned in the week, as it's the first race of the week of the new track and combo selection. Now, the battle for the lead. Andrew versus Ray. They're going to be side by side coming off of 4. Give it to Andrew. He's been running that top side lane, and it looks like it's been working thus far out. My question is, when is he going to start to realize, hey, maybe I need to start saving my tires. I'm going to have to go to the bottom here soon.
Still not able to get along fully is Ray. Up on the top once again, Andrew, this time a little bit lower. Everybody else moving up to the top for the most part, you see. However, here's the major thing. It's better on the long run to run to the bottom. However, it's still difficult to make the pass, Alex, because of that amount of rotation you have to have compared to when you're side-by-side compared to, say, single file on those exits. You just lose a lot of momentum when you're side-by-side on an exit.
Yeah, absolutely. And being parked behind the rear spoiler or someone else is just going to make that truck turn less and less. And as a driver, you can be frustrating sitting in dirty air, but as a driver, you also have to realize that, hey, you know, maybe because I'm sitting back here, and maybe because of my strategy. If I sit and I relax back here instead of being so aggressive, these guys pushing in front of me, they could burn their tires, and I could still have stuff left for the end. Coming to lap 25 out of 60, and we're seeing different lines being used, and Ryan Andrew pulling out a gap of about 4/10.
Slowly, Dickens amongst those coming up through that field. You see the leaders in that difference. Still keeping an eye on that 5 truck in sim, 15 on the racetrack. Dickens now having contact as Cortez gets hit by Chaburko. They all stack up behind, and the wall goes Brummett. Now they're crashing out of turn 4. Cortez all over the racetrack, everybody bouncing off of everybody, and we somehow are still green.
And, I mean, credit to these guys, because they've picked it up, and, you know, the cream of the crop sure knows how to avoid the wrecks. And these guys doing a great job already of trying to minimize the damage, especially when getting wrecked, because that's the key in most iRacing fixed races. It's just damage prevention. You get wrecked, you got to come down, you got to fix as much. As Vincent Cortez is squeezing the 22, you want to make sure that you can make the most out of your race, and even if you get wrecked, you still want to come home with a good points finish, and that's what these guys are going to have to battle it out in their head.
Amongst those now trying to hold on is Cortez. Here's the tough thing in his position. Winter and Powers, they've been very quick as of late. Last time by Winter in the 24.5s. Bruce also in that same category. Also amongst those coming up through the field again is Maconi. Remember, he was involved in the contact earlier, trying to recover from that. So up to 17th. And now there's more contact up the road, because now the second grouping of trucks, River Page, just got moved.
And all these guys still battling out front. And now River Page obviously not happy, squeezing out the racetrack, goes the 26 into the 11. And Chaburko going to have to fight as they bounce down the track, still 3 wide as we enter turn 3.
We're not even halfway yet, and we're racing like it's the final lap. Curtis Sutton able to clear on by amongst all this. But something has to calm down. No, let's go intensify things, says Jeffrey Maconi, 3 wide. Powers up the middle. Tyler Merritt trying to take all the bumps in on the top of the racetrack. Now get him the job done on Powers as Maconi slams the door.
And it's a Maconi 4 wide battle between all these guys, but the boss man looks like he's going to come out on top out of turn 4. He's going to have that run, and he's going to look to enter turn 1 a little faster than his outside lane. But as you can see, the bottom just doesn't carry as much momentum as the top does. But right now, it looks like he's saved enough tires to try and push. They're going to be side by side down the back.
Take a little bit of time for a lot of these drivers. Keep in mind, most of these drivers are on fresh tires. Cody also had to get the damage repair done. So he had lost a little bit of time as a result of the contact in the second caution. And now he goes 3 wide with the Avril Lavigne paint scheme. Munsto's trying to battle on 4th. That is Maconi, who's gone and supported his favorite artist.
Not often do we see a music producer, a star on a car. This is one of those rare opportunities that we've seen one, and this is pretty cool.
By the way, he's having a cool race up 9 positions. He's just about up to his truck number in sim. However, to be able to make sure he doesn't lose iRating, he needs to gain at least a 1 spot, if not 2 more. Still on the bottom in the midst of all this, Bruce trying to work the top as we skip up the racetrack. Looking at the battle, Matheson and Chaburko, they've been following each other basically much of this run. They've now caught up to Sanford, who was 3rd on the restart. The old tires have really faded now that we've had our longest run of the race.
Yeah, a lot of these guys who were running the top early on, I guess now committed to the top because they see that there's no point going into the bottom and trying to save tires. Jeff, the boss man, trying to use that bottom lane this whole time he has, and it looks like it's been working for the most part, been able to stay consistent while these guys trying to fight a loose or tight racetrack on the top. Looks like he's been able to get it done.
For the race lead, if we go up front, Malik Ray on a slight job, gets it done, and Ryan Andrew puts him in the wall. Andrew goes for the crossover. Malik Ray falls back to 2nd. Ray avoids damage, but this isn't over.
Absolutely, this isn't over. Here comes Malik Ray down the back straight away. They're going to be side by side entering turn number 3. Malik tried to pull a slider. Does he try and pull it again? Looks like he might, and he is not clear just yet. They're going to battle the one.
Andrew up in the wall this time. More scrubs to the truck. And it looks like a quick blip as Ray moves up to the race lead fully. Andrew now trying to use a little bit of the bumper, though, to pressurize. And despite the fact Ray showing how the bottom has been working for this long run, for this exact point, Andrew seems to be committed to the top. The problem is Malik Ray's speed now has that single file mark to be able to take advantage.
Yeah, and Malik Ray has realized that, and now he's been able to pass Ryan Andrew, but the battle is not over yet. Ryan Andrew has been able to catch Malik Ray all throughout this time and now gotten below almost 2/10. Still losing a little bit of that speed and is now changing lanes, but Ryan Andrew, if he really wants, could run the top and see if he can put one more battle if there isn't a caution.
Keep in mind, if there is even a little bit of squabbling, Joshua Dickens is coming. Dickens has the fastest lap of the race, and he's within 9/10 of a second of the lead. Last time by, he was 1/10 quicker than your top two.
So Dickens been biding his time, saving his tires, and now on lap 40 out of 60, it's starting to show up now. See, right in that bottom, the middle lane, he's been taking that late arc, and it's been working out. He's been saving his tires all the way through this run, and now he can just chill and try and ride behind these two as they try and scrap it out, saving his tires now, moving up to the top, seeing if he can pull any last-ditch efforts to get to the lead.
Take a little bit of time as we look through some of the other groupings. Snyder amongst those, staying up inside the top 5. He's been very consistent all year when it comes to the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix Series. Just staying where he needs to again be to be able to gain solid points in the S.O.F race. And he does have a chance to close up on Sutton. He's a little bit quicker than the truck in front by a couple 100s here and there each lap.
Yeah, and I was taking a look at the points now. Jacob Schneider, residing in the 3rd spot, just about I think 10 or 20 points behind our points leader Dean Brummett, and with him showing a good top 5 speed here in Iowa tonight, this could be the chance where he might retake the points lead.
All this with Brummett still running 22nd. He needs a caution. To say it lightly, the truck not running great with the damage. Cole Pocken, the only one behind him. And Pocken amongst those who also had some contact earlier on in this one. So some of the drivers expect to be up towards the front. Not having the best of luck here. Meanwhile, part of the pack, that's Dylan Robinson. The 21 truck here tonight. He's reeled in Merritt. Remember, Merritt was one of the drivers on old tires who went top side, both sides of the racetrack. Now he's paying the price. Near contact.
Yeah, and that's what I was mentioning. Some of these guys choosing to stick it out on the top, and I don't think it's working now. They need to make some sort of moves to get that truck to rotate and turn. And that's what I was saying about these guys committing to the top so early on. It'll be fast in the beginning of the run, but you're going to start to fall back. And as we've seen, passing is very much possible. So, and contact. These guys are going to have to try and push and see if they can get anything done.
Another rub, another bump. Now it's 3 wide behind. Jabo wanting to go places. Near 4 wide. Oh, they are 4 wide. Rowe showing a little bit of the quarter panel poke. Not able to fully get alongside, though. Jabo pulls out of it. Also, a change for second as this has all gone on. Joshua Dickens has made the pass on Andrew. Now, Joshua Dickens needs to close up to Ray. He's got 14 laps to try and pass the eNASCAR Coke driver.
Yeah, and if I'm in Ryan Andrews' spot, I realize that Joshua Dickens, he's faster than me. I just got to let him go. No sense in racing him. No sense in costing him a chance at the win and costing me a possible chance at second if they're wrecked. So just let him go. No sense to battle it out and wear your tires out more and just let the leader romp away. This is great racing, and Dickens already caught up to just underneath 0.5 of a second. The laps are winding down, but so was that gap.
Going to take a lot of time. Last time by, he did pick up a 10th with the fresher tires. If Dickens wants a chance, he needs the ranks to stay green here. Amongst those also in battles, keep in mind, Matheson is also a group with Winter and Company. Amongst those also trying to hold on to Sanford. Sanford trying the bottom. Maconi tries to cross. There's a look over to Matheson meanwhile. He's quietly been able to reel himself away from Jaburko after flipping those spots after running behind Brandon much of the run.
Yeah, and a good job from him to do just that. And these guys still haven't given up the battle. Right behind the boss man, Jeff Maconi, Bruce and Sanford, going door to door at it again. And in front of 7th place in points, Joey Maschwitz, who came with a win in Bristol in the first round. Still pretty consistent. Oh, there's going to be contact, and he's going to turn him around.
Caution flag is out for the 3rd time, and Joey Masevich is amongst those involved. And Maconi drivers, at least one involved. Bruce also involved. Sanford with significant contact, and this changes the complexion of the race as we look at the replay.
This is going to change everything. It was going to be a strategy run to the end. We could see 4, almost 5 wide racing. Everyone is going to send it now because there's less than 5 laps when we go green.
And Temper Tippers flare. And now it gets very intriguing on how this all plays out. Already significant damage in turn for Sanford and Bruce. That will see the race is likely over, at least on the lead lap. Everybody had been on the lead lap prior to this caution. And not a surprise, everybody coming down just about here. I wouldn't be surprised if nobody stays out here.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a driver, I have to realize that staying out is not the move at all. But what we could see happen is someone could be bold and take 2 tires and see if that track position really does mean a lot here at the end of the race. And that is something we could see, and that could as well work. Joey Maschwitz pulled that strategy off during the Bristol race, got and undercut everybody, and he went to the lead so sneakily that not even us in the broadcast booth noticed when he pit and took tires. So, will it be? And Malik Ray wins the battle off pit road. Dickens down to 5th.
Ryan Andrew comes out in 2nd. Curtis Sutton picks up time. You know what was on the docket there? 2 tires galore. Your top 8 all took 2 tires. As well as Tyler Merritt up in 11th position, everybody else on 4. Now keep in mind, that is something that may be able to work as long as you don't take fuel because of the weight transfer, but this is something that could be risky if you aren't used to this balance in a minute.
Yeah, this could be risky for some guys as they've been running, I'm assuming pretty tight all the way, and we can even see some of the coke strategies coming out from Malik Ray, trying to heat up those tires as he can. But a lot of these drivers are taking a risky move. You know, it's risky to take 2 tires because the balance is going to feel different than the tires you were just on, and from the tires you were on at the beginning of the run when they were brand new. You've got old left side tires and brand new right side tires. That balance shift might be a lot and maybe too much for some of these guys to handle.
And you have to remember in this series, there isn't a plethora of green-white checkers available. You basically have just the one chance in the S.O.F races or in this Maconi Setup Shop Seat Fix series. That might also be part of the play too, where you're hoping that someone in the back half of the strategy makes the mistake and not you.
Absolutely. This is the one time of the week you get to win the biggest race of the week. You get one chance, one opportunity, and you've got to seal the deal if you want the win. And a lot of these guys realize that, taking some risky strategies, but it could come off with the win.
So with that, we get ready for the one-to-go signal. Only one driver losing laps in this caution period, Tristan Bruce. Malik Ray is the leader. He's led 18 laps here tonight, 35 for Ryan Andrew there alongside. Then it's Curtis Sutton and Jacob Snyder. Matheson and Cortez, Jaburko, and then Dickens is the first on 4 tires. He's around 8th, 9th position. You also have inside the top 10 grouping, Maconi and River Page. It's going to be interesting. Who's your pick?
Honestly, my pick right now would be Ryan Andrew, but my sleeper pick is Dickens. Being the first on 4, he can make some magic happen.
Only 6 laps to make magic work, though. Coming up to the restart zone, it's Ray in control. Green flag is out. Back underway. Already 2 and 3 wide as they make their way to the start and finish line. Sutton under attack. Matheson forced to check up. Ryan Andrew trying to fight for second as Malik Ray tries to run away.
And here comes Dickens. I told you that something might work. My sleeper pick, he's coming through the field. That 4-tire strategy, as he gets a little loose, is trying to work perfectly. These guys on 2 tires not ready for that balance or that shift. He's trying to make some passes as they've got a caution out on the racetrack. Lap 56 out of 60.
And that's at the back of the field. It's Logan Maconi who goes around in the 9 truck in sim. We'll have to take a look at the replay. Dylan Rowe appears to have been involved in his 3rd incident this race. Watch the 23 3 wide.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he just gets to the gas a little too early, comes up the track and doors the 34, and yeah, I mean, that it's all on the inside card to realize that, hey, I'm 3 wide. You know, I need to know when I can't come up the track anymore, and he just pushed his limits and he found out.
Now keep in mind that wasn't all the way around, yes, but that is something where you can absolutely mention that it's easy to go around in those situations. It's time at the caution. But now, Malik Ray, his cushion's gone, but likely going to come down to a 2-lap shootout to decide this. You have Sutton, Andrew, and Snyder right on behind, and Dickens starting 3rd on the outside line. How does this play out is going to be the interesting part. How do you try and win this to pass Malik in just 2 laps?
If I'm trying to pass Malik in just 2 laps, I'm going to have to be as aggressive as possible. Believe it or not, may or may not like it, this is still a short track, so we're going to see short track racing, you know, rubbing doors, rubbing bumpers. We could see some moves being made, but I still think my sleeper pick of the race is Dickens, lining up 3rd on that outside lane. If he gets a good restart, he has an instant advantage to run that top side lane and get a good run on those fresh 4 Goodyear tires that he has over the rest of the field, who has 2 in front of him. This could play directly in the hands of Dickens.
Still a few more moments before we get rolling, expecting the green-white checker trigger this time around. Again, tonight's action brought to you by Maconi Competizione, specializing in event organization, promotion, and execution. Contact Maconi Setup Shop LLC for all inquiries. And the lights stay on the pace car, and in turn, we reach the 2 to go signal. Green-white checkered is confirmed as we get ready for the last restart of the race. So now, it's about seeing what can be done here. Still give a shout out to Brandon Jaburko. Despite all the damage, despite being bounced off at least 2 to 3 times tonight, he's your biggest mover up 16 positions, doing Jaburko things.
And you know, one thing I was gonna point out is he didn't make very many friends during Dega Week. A lot of guys not happy about the way he drives, but so far hasn't been in a lot of scuffles this race despite the damage. So we'll see what happens to him throughout this race. But I feel like if he's gonna run into a driver that maybe wasn't so happy to him, we could see some payback, or we could see some not so friendly racing.
All I'm going to say on that, Mark, is he doesn't believe in the yellow line rule. Getting ready for the restart, 1 to go signal. Blake Ray going to be the control truck. Sutton from Rockway War starts on the outside. Then it's the Maconi Esports truck of Andrew. Jacob Snyder, Jake Matheson of Tranquility, then Joshua Dickens. It's going to be an intriguing final restart here. Now it's the matter of, do we keep it clean for at least one circuit to race it out is the major question.
These guys are going to have to know that if I want a chance to get a good points finish, now's not the time to wreck somebody. But also, these guys at the front saying, I want the win. And at the highest level race you're going to see all week, they're going to try and do anything to get the race win. May not make some friends out on the racetrack. That's not necessarily what short track racing is for. Getting ready to go green here in Iowa.
All set to go. A 2-lap shootout from Newton, Iowa. Ray leads them to the green. 2 laps to go in seat fixed action. Already some snakiness. Sutton gets clear for second. Side by side for third. Make it 3 wide nearly for third as Dickens wants to go.
Dickens wants to move. He wants to make some moves on the top, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. He's going to have to use every lane that's available to him, trying to go down the track as he's 3 wide going for third. And Ryan Andrews, we've got a spin in the back. It's Jeff Maconi. We stand. The yellow comes out. And Malik Ray, under yellow, is going to be the race winner here in Iowa.
So indeed, we take the white and yellow together. Malik Ray in the only GWC attempt, able to hold on by about 3/10 at the stripe. And apparently there was a wreck at the back of the field too. That was River Page on the apron. I think he was actually bumping Chaburko because they were making contact on the final lap. Here's the replay of what went on here. This is again what happened with the caution.
Jeff just gets up into him, gets in the gas. Oh, and the terrible lick for Jeff as he gets spun around. And from what it seems like, that wasn't what fully brought out the yellow. And here's where the yellow comes out now. And River Page, not happy with Chaburko, gives him a little shove.
Chases him, in fact. I'm not sure what that was about. And then a little bit of parking, but Chaburko's ready for it. And they just want to finish the race so they don't black flag half the field. Thank you. Reminder that this race is broadcasted, so good way to bring attention to yourself.
And out of all of this chaos, Malik Ray comes home with the victory in Newton, Iowa. Under yellow, gonna take the checkered white and yellow flag. Malik Ray is victorious here in Iowa.
And immediately runs off to celebrate. In turn, as they all jump to the Legends Oval, why don't we take a look towards your unofficial race results here tonight from Newton, Iowa. Malik Ray tonight, the victor. Here from this short track, here in the fields of corn. Ray picking up the victory over Curtis Sutton under caution. Snyder, Andrew, and Dickens, your top 5 tonight. Amongst the top 10, Matheson, Chaburko, Page, Cortez, and Derek Winter finishes off in his truck number in 10th.
And gonna move on to the rest of the guys back down from 11th on back. Dylan J. Robinson in 11th, Justin Patello, Brady Powers, Scott Ricknerd, and Dylan Rowe, the man who was involved in the most incidents we saw in the race, finishes 15th. Over points leader Dean Brummett, Cole Palkin, Joey Mashowitz, Tyler McConnelly, and Tyler Merritt.
21st spot going to Christian Sanford. He was a driver up towards the front much of the race until the second to last yellow. Jeffrey Maconi trying to recover twice, got spun around, and Tristan Bruce, the only DNF of the race tonight here on Maconi Entertainment. So on that note, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, post-race coverage. You're watching the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix S.O.F race on Maconi Entertainment.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of Maconi Setup Shop Steve Dick's S.O.F. race here on Maconi Entertainment after a busy night from Iowa. This is Prince Alexander Balderas with you, Brandon Cooper, our producer. As we look to close things out here quickly, Alex, to discuss things about next week, Las Vegas is next on the docket. And that should be a wild one because pack racing and expectation with how things have usually gone at Vegas over the past couple years.
Pack racing returns to the S.O.F. field as they head on to go to Vegas, and that is going to be an absolute barn burner. Always a great show at Vegas. These guys going to run 2 wide, 3 wide almost for the entire race. Maybe string out in a couple single file lines if we get some green flag pit stops, but going to be an exciting race next week for sure.
Once again, that coverage, October the 9th, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, here on Maconi Entertainment. On that note, we'd like to thank the race sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, as well as our broadcast partner, Maconi Competition. Well, calling the action tonight was myself, Justin Prince, alongside Alexander Balderas, the booth with Bradley Cooper producing. I'd like to thank all of the viewers for watching tonight's racing action from Iowa. I hope you stay tuned to all of our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.